Welcome to Play to Win, where we play to win. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Cam. This week we're playing cEDH with Sandwich and Sarah of Girlpod.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm one half of Girlpod MTG. You can find us on all platforms at Girlpod MTG. We make daily content over on Instagram, Blue Sky, sometimes TikTok, weekly content over on YouTube.
What's up, y'all? I'm Sandwich. I'm the other half of Girlpod MTG. Sarah told you where you can find us online, but we will also be at MagicCon Vegas and, of course, MagicCon Atlanta. That's where our HQ is, so come through to see us and swing a couple games.
This video is brought to you in part by Dragon Shield. Use code PLAYTOWIN5 at the affiliate link down below for 5% off to help support the show.
And check us out on Patreon, where you can support us directly and get awesome extra perks like being able to submit your deck for us to play on the show like our $100 patrons can.
So we have Cam on LONIS. You haven't got a clue, but I do. A list submitted by our patron, Old and Grumpy. I'm on Banana Terracotta Pie. Sarah is on DEREVI Turbo Yisan, and Sandwich is on KINNAN. Sweet little lad. Any pre-games?
No.
Okay. Good luck, have fun.
All right, I'll draw. Play a breeding pool untapped. This hand has a Mystic Remora in it. Pass the turn.
Draw a card. Play Bloodstained Mire and fetch. Go to 39. I'll find Scrubland. I'll cast Imperial Seal.
May I draw a card?
You may find one card. Pass my turn.
I will drop turn. Woody Footy, crack it, and go down to 39. Grab the Savannah, cast a Noble Hierarch, pass.
Draw for turn. I'm going to play a Polluti Duty as my land for turn. Tap sack it going down to 39. Get a breeding pool, but I'm not going to shock it in and I'll pass the turn.
I will pay to keep the fish around then on my upkeep, and I'll draw a card. Paying 2 life to Gitaxian Probe targeting Dylan. I'm just going to show the table. So a bunch of lands, a little bit of interaction, and a Voice of Victory that doesn't do anything now, but will be incredibly scary in the future. All right, I'll draw a card.
I'm going to be honest. I played the wrong land. I was supposed to play Underground Sea so that I could Imperial Seal, Ancient Tomb, and the card that I tutored for was Rhystic Study and turn 2 Rhystic Study, and I didn't. For some reason, last minute, I was like, you know what? Let me throw an extra card in my graveyard. Let me just fetch right now, and I'll get the Scrub land and do that. Wrong.
Beseiju as my land for turn. Pass.
Untap. Draw a card. Play the Underground Sea that you saw. Cast Voice of Victory. Pass my turn.
Untap, draft turn. Play this Hollowed Fountain as my land for turn. I will shock it in, so I will go down to 37. Arcane Signet, cannot pay for more.
I will get a draw.
Ooh.
I know, I'll pass.
Ooh, a Yavimaya Kosa is my land for turn. Felwar Stone.
Get a draw.
You sure do. I'm going to also do a Lotus Petal.
I get a draw off that.
That's my turn. Thank you.
I think I'm ready to get rid of the fish. And then I draw for my turn, play an island. I'll cast a Mox Opal, Devoted Druid. Cast Into the Flood Maw on the Voice of Victory.
No effects.
I'll pass.
Untap. And draw a card. I'll play an Ancient Tomb. Cast Rhystic Study. Losing 2 life from the tomb. Pass turn.
Untap, draft turn. Lotus Petal,
Rhystic Study.
I will pay the 1.
Unfortunate.
Cast Revy, not paying Rhystic.
Draw off this one.
On the ETB, I will choose to untap the Arcane Signet. Pass.
Ooh, that's fun. Mana Confluence as my land for turn. I'm going to Beseiju your Rhystic.
This is so sad. I have no effects. Okay, I'll go search. I'll find Volcanic Island. One card. One card it got me.
I'm really glad that Beseiju is out of Sandwich's hand here, though.
Green, taking 1, going down to 38. Kinnan on the stack. Sacrifice this for 2 green. Play a Bloom Tender. And that is me.
Draw a card. Gemstone Caverns as my land. Put a Machine God's Effigy on the stack.
Oh, I will respond and cast Chain of Vapor targeting the Devoted Druid.
Dispel that.
Okay, it gets countered, yeah.
So Machine Gods enters as a copy of Devoted Druid. I would like to present a loop where I consistently tap Machine God's Effigy for a mana and then put a -1/-1 counter on it. And since it's not a creature, it doesn't care. So I can do this infinitely to make infinite green and blue. Cast a Transmute artifact. I'll use my Mox Opal to go find me an Extruder. And then I'll pay 4 mana with my infinite mana so that I can have Extruder come into play. Then I'll use some of my infinite mana to cast the LONIS. I'll cast a Neoform, sacrificing Devoted Druid. I'm gonna go find Academy Manufacturer. When it enters, LONIS sees that it has greater toughness, so that will let me put a +1/+1 counter on LONIS, and then he'll let me create a clue. But when I create a clue, Academy Manufacturer wants me to also create a food and a treasure token. So here's a treasure. This food chain is actually just food. It doesn't say chain, it just says food.
Okay.
So what can happen is every time that I sacrifice a clue with extruder, it lets me put a +1/+1 counter on LONIS. Whenever I sacrifice a clue, LONIS puts a +1/+1 counter on another creature I control, which for right now is going to be Academy Manufactor. And then every time that I go through this loop, having extruder sacrifice a clue to put a +1/+1 counter on LONIS, letting me investigate to put another +1/+1 counter on him. Academy Manufacturer is also making me treasures and food. I'll have to cast Spark Double with my infinite mana to make a copy of Academy Manufactor.
So I don't really have to. I got so in my head about having to sacrifice clues, because that's normally how the loop works, that I forgot that Extruder can let me sacrifice any artifact. So I can sacrifice the food token that I make in order to keep my clues around, still make more clues and foods with LONIS and such, so that way I can always have infinite clues to draw my whole deck with just one Academy Manufactor and not needing a second one.
Yeah, the deck needs a lot of pieces, but it doesn't need quite this many pieces.
I'm just style points right here for LONIS.
So that this way, every time I go through this loop, I'm now making an additional clue, an additional treasure, and an additional food. I can start using this to draw my deck until I find Walking Ballista. So I'll Walking Ballista the table.
We're so dead.
Yes.
My favorite part about this was that when I was neoforming, I was like, what fucking creature in this deck am I going to use to win? Because I had no idea which 3-drop I needed. And it just so happens that Academy Manufacturer just gives you so many options while you're going through this loop. It's super nice to have.
Yeah, turn 1 Mystic Remore is powerful. Let's do another game.
Let's jump into game 2.
Are there any pre-games?
No.
No.
Alright. Good luck, have fun. Draw for turn. Windswept Teeth, crack it. I'll find Tundra. Pass to Esper Sentinel. Pass my turn.
Well, drop her. Play a breeding pool. I'll shock it going down to 38. I like your card draw so much. I'm going to top from 1 and cast a Mystic Remora.
Esper Sentinel trigger. Draw card.
Draw pass.
Play a Misty Rainforest, pay a life, and sacrifice that. Going down to 39, get a breeding pool as well. I am going to shock it in. I'd rather have the mana. Pass.
Draw. Play Rejuvenating Springs. Cast my own Mystic Remora.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you guys get the draw.
It looks like we all agreed with what you did last game. Turn 1 card advantage. That's the goal.
All right, let's all try that now. Yeah.
Here's a Mox Diamond. Another fish trigger, yeah.
Yay.
I'll bin Island. I'll pass.
Untap. Draw a card. Badlands. Exile this Elvish Spirit Guide for a green mana, and I'll cast Terra. Enters trigger, top 5. Destiny Spinner, Marsh Flats, Volcanic Island, Tropical Island, and Bayou. Okay, I got rid of that land pocket, I guess. I'll take the Destiny Spinner. That's an enchantment. I'm going to cast this Chromox in my second main phase. You both can draw.
Great, okay, yeah.
I'll pitch the Destiny Spinner that you just saw me get. Cast Noble Hierarch. Pass my turn.
I will untap. I will let the fish die. I will draw for turn. Verdant Catacombs. Sack it. Paying 1 life. 37. Grab Savannah again. Cast my own Noble Hierarch. Go to end step, and let's discard this City of Brass.
Nothing to do, actually. Whoa. Ooh! So you get reborn, taking 3 life, going to 34. Play a Devoted Druid. Pass.
Pay to keep the fish around and draw. Botanical Sanctum, and then I'll pass.
Untap, upkeep, draw card. Scrubland. Cam, I'm going to attack you for 5 with Terra and an Exalted trigger.
Go to 35.
Pass turn.
Tap drop Snow-Covered Forest. Cast a Great Abolisher.
Flash in a Fairy Mastermind.
Okay. Crop rotation. Sacking the Snow-Covered Forest.
Esper Sentinel trigger.
And a Mystic Remora trigger.
Can't pay for either.
Get him.
I'm gonna go get my Gaia's Cradle, cast a Bloom Tender, and move to end step. If there are no effects, I will pass through. Oh, there can't be any. Haha, just kidding. Okay.
Nice.
You're having way too much fun with that shit, dude. Oh, wait. That's right. I forgot.
It's cunty, I like it.
It fucking is. To a Waterlogged Grove, taking 1 life, going to 33. Kinnan on this deck.
Do it with me.
I'm playing Enduring Vitality. That's all I'm doing. Look, it's not even a big thing.
Is it time for fish to go? Goodbye, fish. Get a draw. Here's an island. Mox Amber and pay for Esper Sentinel. LONIS.
May I respond to Linus with merely only a Worldly Tutor?
Sure.
Here's a Displacer Kitten.
That was really good timing because I'm tapped out effectively right there. My Lonis is on the stack, so my Mox Amber doesn't make me mana. So if I actually want to do something about your Worldly Tutor, it needs to be a free piece of interaction. So like if I had an offer you can't refuse that can't stop a creature later, like this would have been the time to do it. So I kind of like that timing.
Yeah, plays around Fierce a little bit, same too.
Also true, yeah.
Although Displacer Kitten is not in the deck anymore. Displacer Kitten seemed like it would be good being able to reuse TERRA over and over again. We'll see in practice that that's not necessarily anything. That's nothing, you know, sometimes with Underworld Breach already out, it's good. Without Underworld Breach, we'll see.
Sometimes Magic Theory is just like...
I will pass after Lonis resolves then.
On tap, upkeep, draw this card. Cast Displacer Kitten. Cast Lion's Eye Diamond, trigger Kitten, target TERRA. TERRA trigger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are 5 cards in the graveyard. It's gonna pass turn then.
I will untap, draft turn. Tap this for 3 green. Cast Captain's Essay. Cast DEREVI. ETB, I will choose to untap my Cradle. I think I just have to hold up my mana and pass.
All right, so we lose to Dylan on his turn, and if we don't, we lose to Sarah on her turn.
That's not true. We're not gonna get to my turn.
Woody Footy as my land for turn. Pay 1 life, going to 32. Get a forest. Oh, fuck. Sorry. This is my first time shuffling. Play a Trophy Mage. I am gonna get... It's some new tech I'm trying out. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. Basalt Monolith. Play the Basalt Monolith.
Esper Sentinel trigger. In response to my Esper Sentinel trigger, I'm gonna cast Noxious Revival, targeting Mindbreak Trap, paying 2 life to do it. Displacer Kitten trigger.
This is spell number 2.
This is spell number 2. This doesn't actually do anything. I think she's gonna pay for it anyway. I can counter the Thrasios or something. Displacer Kitten trigger. I'll flicker TERRA and mill 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll take Touch the Spirit Realm. I have a Noxious Revival targeting the Mindbreak Trap. As Sentinel trigger. Can I draw?
No. No, you can't.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Basalt resolves.
That gives me infinite colorless mana. Let me shuffle really quickly, and then I'll do 1 Kinnan spin. Ooh, I hope it's something cool. It's like Christmas and my birthday all wrapped up every time I get to do a Kinnan spin. 5. Oh, Valley Flood Caller. Alpha Kinnan. I'm gonna pass.
Untap and my upkeep, and I'll draw. Tezzeret the Seeker.
Esper Sentinel trigger.
You may draw. I'm going to use Tezzeret's minus ability to subtract him for 4 to search my library for an artifact that costs 4 or less. I'll find Extruder. Lonis sees him enter. Evolve Lonis to get a +1/+1 counter, and that'll make me a clue. So here's the thing. I can make Fairy Mastermind and all my creatures infinitely large, and then I can take out 1 player who's not Sarah.
DEREVI being a flying blocker here is actually very crucial to you being able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. All my creatures are infinitely big, but don't have trample or anything, so...
Yay! I love being Sarah today.
Me or the Kinnan player with Basalt on the board, and you're not sure?
Well, what are you going to do on your turn?
I have no idea.
I don't know what I'm gonna do either, if it's any consolation.
You know, I have these 2 things. I have 3 other things.
I feel like I need you to help with Sarah.
I agree.
So I will sacrifice a clue to Extruder to put another +1/+1 counter on Lonis. Lonis sees the clue get sacrificed, and we'll put a +1/+1 counter on Fairy Mastermind then. Once the +1/+1 counter goes on Lonis, then Lonis investigates that many times, creating me another clue. So that's how every time I go through this loop, Lonis gets another +1/+1 counter, and then another creature of mine gets a +1/+1 counter. I can go through this loop until there is an infinite number of +1/+1 counters on all of my stuff. And I end with a clue.
I have to re-say it 8 times because I don't believe it myself, so I have to make sure it's
Make
right.
sure this is actually how it works. Okay.
I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to swing this Fairy Mastermind down at Sandwich, and I'll swing my infinitely huge Lonis over at Sarah.
Let the Abolisher die.
Sandwich, how do you feel about this infinitely large flyer coming at you in the air?
Do my Basalt to get 4 and then 1 ring to protect myself from it?
That's insane.
I have an Esper Sentinel, but you have a 1 billion mana. Because of the Valley Flood Caller. Instant speed 1 ring for protection is great.
Nice. All right. Everything that I did amounted to nothing.
Damn, that's so funny. Okay.
So funny. And I'm just as dead now. All right. Yeah, I'll pass.
Untap, upkeep. I will draw for turn. I'm gonna cast Essence Flux, targeting my TERRA, trigger Displacer Kitten. Displacer Kitten trigger, targeting TERRA first. TERRA trigger, I'll flip 5. Ragavan, Intuition, Flutterstrand, and Gifts Ungiven. This Essence Flux is gonna fizzle. Since the Displacer Kitten flickers the TERRA by the time that the Essence Flux is targeting it, it's a new TERRA, so it's gonna fizzle, which is kind of too much of the same thing in this particular situation is nothing.
Normally, I like too much of the same thing, but this is not a good scenario for it.
Pass my turn.
Untap. Draft turn. Tap the Cradle for 4. I'll tap this for 3. Cast Court of Calling. X is 4.
Esper Sentinel trigger.
Will not pay. Activate Captain Sisay on top of that. I'm gonna grab this Spasaju and put it into my hand. And then off of Court of Calling, I'm going to grab Emil. Go to combat. Let's swing DEREVI at you, Cam, for 2 in the air.
With your Exalted trigger, I'll take 3.
Wait, well, hold on. Should we communicate real quick? If this trigger happens, I think we're dead. The issue is that there's 3 mana right there already now, so we need 2 pieces of interaction for it to even matter, I think. Which, if you guys have a piece of interaction, I could double it.
I can look with my One Ring really quickly. Okay. I need a blue. I can't do anything. I'm sorry.
Okay, all good.
I will pass priority.
Sad. I'm gonna channel Touch the Spirit Realm, targeting Sisay. With what Sarah has on board right now, she can make infinite mana and search her library for all of her legends. With Emil and DEREVI and Gaia's Cradle, that's infinite mana, and then you can use the DEREVI to untap the Sisay over and over again. We have to do something now, but with the 3 mana there, over top of it, she can just present infinite mana. So there has to be 2 pieces of interaction. With only 1 piece of interaction, it doesn't exactly matter what I target, but I think I still should have hit the Emil here instead of the Sisay, because now she can make infinite mana, protect the Sisay by flickering it out after she searches for what she needs to, and then what I've done does actual nothing. Whereas if I target the Emil, she can search for the legends, untap her lands, and do all that, and then in the end step when Emil comes back, make infinite mana and win with whatever Walking Blister or Born Upon the Wind, whatever way that she wants to in the end step, but I make it so that she doesn't have to wait until the end step. She can make infinite mana again in the main phase 2.
I will tap 3 to flicker DEREVI. On ETB, I'll untap Cradle. Make 5, use 3 to flicker DEREVI again. Use the remaining mana to flicker DEREVI. Untap Cradle. Tap it for 5. Flicker DEREVI again. Untap Cradle. I'm gonna do this to create infinite green mana. Untap Captain Sisay. Activate Sisay. Reveal Thrasios, put him into my hand. I'll have Gaia's Cradle untap, and then I will also begin dumping the infinite green into Emil to untap my other lands by flickering DEREVI and my dorks. And Captain Sisay.
Touch the Spirit Realm was targeting your Sisay.
Flicker Sisay then, so she'll be summoning sick and cannot do anything else.
Yeah, and then this fizzles and goes to the graveyard.
So main 2, I have to generate infinite mana once again with Cradle. I'll use one of the infinite and a blue to cast Thrasios. Use the infinite green to channel the Pasaju on the Result.
Okay, well that's gone now.
You get a land with a basic land type.
Yay!
I'm going to go get the Walking Ballista by drawing with Thrasios, so I can do the spins where I reveal and do the thing.
If everyone's good, I'm down if you just... Oh, there it is.
Cast the Walking Ballista with an infinite number of counters on it, and I will remove counters.
Yeah.
So you both.
We're dead. Cam and I are dead.
So I'll pass my turn.
Remember that sandwich is still technically protected by the One Ring, so Sarah just has to wait until her upkeep.
Untap.
Say upkeep, I dare you.
What if I just stay here in like the weird loam phase in between? Just a little liminal time for myself. Upkeep.
I will remove the rest of the counters from Walking Ballista.
Nice. Good game.
Good job.
Nice.
DEREVI has gotten a lot more powerful recently, I think, and also just with Gaia's Cradle being a lot better, Emil is so good. The addition of the green-white Sisay being able to find legends also feels really cool in this deck. I'm a big fan of this banned shell right now.
Walking Ballista won 2 games today. That's funny.
That is funny. Thanks so much for watching. If you like to support us directly, you can do so on Patreon, like our $100 patrons.
Mr. Jerby, The Card Book Cookbook, Penguin Man 0089, Eli the Magic Guy, David Newman, Pat Fire, Spengler, Demetrius Clark, Larceny, Roy, Zorboy Blues, Sparky B, Insomnia, SC Phillip, Olden Groupie, Gecko 21, Zach Hartley, Reactive, Sean and the Ice, Gabriel Garrett, Luke Cook, Connor Sitbon, Joshua Day, Peter Stewart, Cornell Wild, Uncle Butts, Quajay, Hamid, Scott Hawkin, Baby Jeebus.
If you want to pick up any of our merch, you can do that at playtowinmtg.com.
Thank you, Dragon Shield, for supporting the show. Use code PLAYTOWIN5 at our affiliate link down below for 5% off your orders.
You can follow us on social media for more content.
Thank you for watching.
See you next time.
could help choke over the $50 patrons too.
Probably. You talk about them now, John Koba,
The Gaming Kinkajou,
Dan the Man,
Sarcastic,
Roy Turner,
Bill Bob,
Mystic Muffin Man,
Zachary Coulson,
Baha,
Mace the Eighth,
Dalton Poti,
Justin,
Dan Solo,
Ace S,
Jan Wildfang,
Thomas Bueno,
and David Nelson.
How do you go back to the video now?
Sweet.
Sweet.
Welcome to Play to Win, Play to Win. I'm Dylan.
Use you from the first time and me from the second. Kind of at a wall.